You're watching another great interview on Audio Inc. Radio.
Hey, this is Mixi from Stitched Up Heart, and you're listening to Audio Inc. Radio with Anne Erickson.
What is up? It's Anne Erickson with Audio Inc. Radio, and I'm very happy to be here with the lovely and talented Mixi from Stitched Up Heart. How are you?
I am good, lovely, and talented. I will take it any day.
Come on, you know it.
Stop.
I love your new look. You came to the dark side with the dark hair. What inspired you to go from blonde to this beautiful dark, which you can do both, by the way?
Thanks. Yeah, no, I dye my hair like as often as the seasons change, and I can't stop myself. The great thing about being blonde was I was able to color it any color I wanted to. And so every other week I'm like, oh, I'll be green today. Oh, I'll be teal, and I was getting tired of myself. So I was like, okay, how do I stop myself from dyeing my hair? I'll dye it black. You can't really take. So I was like, I don't know how long it's a commitment, and I can't commit to hair color very long. So I it's been almost a year, and once I was like, I actually really like it because it feels more me, you know?
Yeah, and it really matches the new music on your new record, that kind of dark industrial metal feel. I love the new direction. Like your new stuff really feels kind of, I don't know, Nine Inch Nails inspired, or it's just so cool. So tell me about, how you guys evolved into this new direction.
Wow, yeah, like I appreciate that. I just had like a vision from the beginning, and I think that we were watching a lot of vampire werewolf movies like in the beginning of writing this. So I think I think I just wanted to go dark, and just black out everything, and there wasn't a reason. The black body paint, for example, is something that we're going to start doing again, and we used to do it a long time ago. And they're kind of coming from our roots, like before we got signed when we were DIY. And I did have black hair back then too, so it was like we're kind of bringing back what we started, kind of what the vision was with that kind of horror goth kind of industrial metal element, and just going back to really what we truly enjoy.
And you have Craig Mabbitt from Escape the Fate on your track To the Wolves, which is awesome. So tell me how that came together. He's definitely a really good fit.
Yes, it's so funny because Craig and I have like a very similar voice apparently, because when he tracked his vocals, even the boys in the band were like, is Craig gonna sing on this or what? And I'm like, he sang. I guess either I sound like a dude or I don't know, but which I'm totally cool with,
No.
It's like heavy music. I'm totally down to be the guy in the band. Like that's fine. But no, we have the same management, and they hit up Craig and asked him, and I was like, cool. And the song To the Wolves, Kevin Thrasher, their guitarist, also from Escape the Fate, wrote with us, so it was kind of appropriate to have sing over the top of it.
Yeah, I think you guys maybe have like a similar tone or something. And maybe like with all the guitars over it, it was kind of like, oh, like if you aren't listening closely, but
Yeah, it was so strange. I was like, this blends way too well.
right. No, that's cool though. And I remember the last record you had the appearance with Sully. So I mean he had a very different vocal quality. So it was like super, easy to tell when he was singing versus you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's
Totally.
definitely got a thing. But even Sully and I have some similarities in just like the veins that pop out of our neck when we're singing and stuff like that. So he's like, I remember when we were in the studio, he's like, she's like a little me. Like, so
That's
yeah.
funny. So what's your favorite new track to play live off this?
So we've only played one show so far, and we played Immortal before it came out, and it was so much fun. We are going to be playing it this tour. It's my favorite track on the record, just because it's the heaviest song we've ever done, and I just had so much fun with it, and that's all I want. I just want people to have a good time and just, you know, beat a couple people up in the mosh pit or something with the song. So
That's so funny because I actually had here in my questions, I was going to ask about Immortal because it's my favorite track off the new album.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that song it was one of the last ones that we wrote, and we did all of the, standard melody based songs, and then, we were like, let's go heavy, let's do it. So we just went for it. And yeah, I don't know, something about it that just feels good.
Yeah. Do you think that going forward, you're going to keep kind of this more, gothic type sound, or do you think you're going to just keep switching it up to keep it however you guys feel?
Girl, I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know. I just know that for this record, for this phase in this band's life, uh, this is where we're at. And what happens next, I I've tried to predict the future and I don't always get it right. So it just depends on where my head is at that time, you know?
Yeah, I know that makes sense. Do you think that it's easier for bands to make it now in general because you can do so much on your own? You're on a label and whatnot, but do you think it's easier because I guess the big gatekeepers aren't there, or is it actually harder because there are more people out there just releasing music? Anyone can do it.
It's a catch 22. It's kind of a double-edged sword, I think. It's really awesome to be able to have the streaming platforms show you what the people want to listen to. But it does open up, I mean, like uh bands that have will never be seen, or if it was like in the 80s, you don't have to be on the radio in order to be heard. And I think that's great. I think that just is going to create more music. It's a lot easier to record from home. It's a lot more, I guess, economical. And we're just going to have a overconsumption of music, and whatever I feel like people gravitate to is going to shine through, whether or not there's the big guys at top paying for, radio and stuff like that. But there's still going to be the politics involved, though, for sure. There always will be. And, it's just the fans are the ones that are going to speak for the bands and the artists at this point, I think.
I really like your music videos. The ones for the new record are good. And you guys have always done just really epic and creative music videos. So, what do you like about doing that? And, how involved are you in the creative process for that?
This run, I actually just got our fourth music video back. We did four in the period of a week for this album,
Wow.
with Tony Aguilera. He is amazing out in Phoenix. And it was crazy. Usually it's months you plan this video out and, go and just kind of talk about it for a while. But I basically had to come up with four video concepts storyline wise, and then four different looks for the LED wall that we used behind us for different locations, the outfits and things like that. I stuck with all black pretty much the whole. I'm like, our bass player's like, just wear black with a little red, and I'm like, no, 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 just all black. He's like, but I had to wear a different outfit for this video. I'm like, just all black. Like, how do you know? um, as far as the storylines, each song has its own story, so that was pretty simple. But it took me, I had 3 weeks to plan it, and then I talked to our director the day that we got to Phoenix at our Airbnb. I was like, watch the Underworld movies and let's just go off of that. Like that was my reference. So we kind of stuck to that, and we just knocked them all out. I have a lot of creative control on the artistic part of it. And it was really just like Tony and I just kind of putting our heads together on it.
So you have a lot of different things you do. I mean, I know you're a painter and you love horses. So tell me about some of the stuff you do outside of Stitched Up Heart.
Yeah, the painting is I started painting before, music, and music took that creative uh control over everything. And I just recently started painting more, and I was like, I really missed it. And, it's just been something for me to kind of zen out and make some money and pay my bills. But I also have kittens that I foster in between tours. I just gave my three kittens to the rescue up to go up for adoption soon. So
Um,
it's always heartbreaking saying goodbye. But yes, I love all the bottle baby kittens. I've fostered 97 now. So yeah, it's a lot.
that's amazing. That's really good that you're doing now.
Thanks. And then the horse, that was an accidental thing. I accidentally rescued him. And now that we thought he was like 18, so I bought him off Craigslist for like a grand. And basically he was like 28, which is pretty old horse. Like he's not
Hmm.
really, it would be mean for me to ride him. And I know that
Oh,
if I were to like sell him, somebody would hurt him. I don't want him to get hurt. So I'm like just letting him live out the rest of his days in this pasture, 700 acres, and just have all these other horse friends. And yeah, he's just a big dog at this point. It's a really expensive dog.
Yeah. Are you still doing Twitch? I remember you were doing that a lot during the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really kept up with it too much, but I've been doing a lot more TikTok lately. But this tour, Escape the Fate, also did Twitch during the pandemic. So I know that Robert was telling me that I have to stream. So we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll do some Twitch streams. But yeah, it was more of like a pandemic thing for us. I didn't know whether or not it was going to translate over into tour, but it's so busy on the road that it's hard to find the right Wi-Fi, and the internet has to be really good to be able to stream properly. So I don't know. We'll see if I end up on like Escape's Twitch stream.
So tell me about the tour on the way.
We are actually packing up everything, and as soon as we're done with this interview, we're heading out to Vegas. We're out with Escape the Fate, Point North, Drugs, and Garzi, and it's a stacked bill. Really, really cool bands. Very excited. Escape the Fate, I just saw their pre-production, and it's cool. They have a lot of cool like production going on, so I'm really excited to see them. Yeah, we are gonna head to Vegas and then program our lights and geysers tonight, and then head to Salt Lake City.
So I'm wondering, you've been in music for a while now. Do you notice a difference in the number of women in music today in your genre of like rock and metal versus when you started out? Are there more?
I mean, I gravitate to the women in the industry. So I've always like, oh my God, there's a girl in the band. I need to check out this band. Like, I don't know what it is. I just relate a lot. And I seem to have a lot in common with the other women in the industry. So it's kind of like when I find a band with a girl in it, but I know like almost every single one. And so if there's another band that I don't know of that has a girl in it, I'm surprised. But I do think that there's definitely been growth in women being more accepted in the heavy metal or heavy music genre. But still, there's a lot more room to go because it's still way male dominated. And I just wish I could see like a 50-50 split with women. But it is really, really cool to see the women. It's not the easiest gig, you know, it's like it's rough on the road. And us women, we like to be pampered and we like to be clean, and it's not always the cleanest, but I keep it as clean on the road as possible. So I understand why it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, no, I feel that now definitely women are more accepted in rock and metal, but the numbers still aren't there, kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that that'll change because if you look at like pop, rap,
For
country, there's
sure. Yeah.
so many women. And why is it different with guy, or why is it different with like metal? And I mean, if you look at Europe, they embrace the women in metal, and actually metal in general is a mainstream thing. So I'm hoping that the US catches up with that. And but there are so many great bands with females in them in the heavy genre.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's well put. And so what else is next for you? The new record, of course, and then what else is on the way?
Uh, if it were up to me, I'd be out on tour 24/7, 365. So that's really the plan. We're just trying to get back out on the road and do festivals and all that stuff, and, tour as much as possible.
Well, Mixi, it's been awesome hanging out with you. Congrats on the new record. I love it and cannot wait to see you on the road.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you for hanging out. And yeah, I'd love to see you out there.